Okay, I'm not saying everybody on planet Earth should stop counting calories, but I want to make an argument about why I don't think it's a good idea. So in this video, I'm going to lay out 6 reasons why you shouldn't count calories if you're working on losing weight. And stick around until the end because I'm going to lay out what I believe to be the best weight loss strategy and what you can do to see results. Oh, and also subscribe because I want to make sure that you feel amazing in your body, that you lose fat, you build muscle, and you do it in the simplest way possible. I put out new videos every week to help you do that. With that being said, let's get into it. Hey, what's up? My name is Schuyler. I'm the founder of Reach Fat Loss and Fitness. Our goal is to simplify the process of weight loss, lose fat, build muscle, do it without counting calories, without weighing your food, without tons of cardio, without sucky dieting. And today we are diving into why I don't think you should be counting calories for weight loss. I'd like to think I know what I'm doing. Helped over 70 people lose a combined 900 plus pounds. As you can see here, we've gotten really good results and we've done it without counting a single calorie. So in my opinion, number one, counting calories takes more time and energy that is necessary. I had a lot of resistance to testing out counting calories, but I did test it for a month, and what I realized is that it created a lot of time at the beginning of a meal to put food into my tracker, to weigh it out, to plate it all, as opposed to just intuitively creating a meal, which I'll tell you about in a second. And so when we think about weight loss, if you are trying to change habits, one of the most important things is you want to keep the time and energy that you spend into this as little as you possibly can. Because if you have a certain routine, certain lifestyle, certain habits around eating, around exercise, if you have to switch a bunch of your habits and routines and put a ton of energy into this, yes, you can probably make it last for the first few weeks while you're still excited, you're still focused, but eventually that old life is going to call you and pull you back. And so with something like counting calories, taking the time before every single meal to get out your scale, to cook things, to weigh them out, plug it into your phone is going to take more time and energy. And yes, over time when you do it, you can slowly get quicker, you can slowly pre-program meals, you can bulk cook so that you don't have to cook before every single meal and weigh things out, but it's still going to take a lot more time than if you didn't even have to worry about the numbers. The second reason I don't think you should count calories is because it puts no emphasis on the quality of the food, the quality of the calories. There's this big myth out there that all calories are created equal, and anyone who has a good head on their shoulders can tell that that's not true. You're going to get a completely different response if you have a beautiful steak versus a cookie or a piece of cake. Your body's going to respond differently, your hunger is going to respond differently, your energy levels are going to respond differently. And so if you put people in this mindset where they have this daily calorie limit and you don't give them any other guidelines, the odds that they're going to go and choose the things that taste good as long as they fit into their calorie deficit is going to go up, and long term that's going to set them up for failure. Because when we take a look at the quality of food, there are certain foods that make us feel full, nourished, high energy, and there are other foods that spike our blood sugar, which causes it to crash, which create cravings, fatigue, low energy, hunger, things that we probably want to avoid if we're on a weight loss journey. And so by not putting an emphasis on the quality of calories, you're setting people up to have more cravings, to eat more, to not want to stick to their diet plan. And long term, it's not going to work out. At the end of the day, this is a universal truth. Not all calories are created equal in terms of how our body responds to them. So we can't focus on just plugging these numbers in and meeting a number. We have to focus on the quality of the food. And that leads me into number 3, which is realizing that if you're counting calories, guess what? If you're logging it into a phone, it's more likely that you are going to buy packaged goods that have the calories on them. And unfortunately, a high portion of packaged goods are processed, contain processed ingredients, contain ingredients that damage the gut, damage your metabolism, make it harder for you to lose weight. This is something I noticed during my 30-day calorie counting challenge, is that there were times I went to the grocery store and I didn't want to weigh out my food. I didn't want to weigh out the veggies, I didn't want to weigh out the fruits, I didn't want to weigh out the meat, and so I would basically gravitate towards these pre-packaged goods. And while yes, you can be smart about it, you can be intentional about it, of course you're able to eat whole foods while counting calories, it does feel like the better and smarter choice to pick out a food item that has calories labeled on it. And that's a problem. We live in a world where the majority of our grocery stores contain food items that have processed ingredients that are, again, slowing our metabolism, increasing our craving, making it harder for us to lose weight. And so if we're living by this daily calorie rule and we're looking to put in as little effort as possible, we're going to gravitate towards the packaged items. Before we get into the 4th reason, I would love if you could leave me a comment. Have you tried counting calories before? Do you currently count? Did you in the past? If so, what was your experience like? And like I mentioned, I did for a month, and the video will be coming soon recapping that experience, so make sure you subscribe to the channel if you are not already. Strategy number 4 is what I noticed from my experience is that counting calories turned eating into a transaction. Eating became less about the enjoyment of the food, putting the meal together, an art, and it became more of a science of weighing the food out, turning it into this number. I am a firm believer that food is supposed to be enjoyed. Food is an extremely special experience, and for me, it robbed me of a lot of enjoyment of weighing that food out, and of course, plugging it into my phone. Seriously, I love eating. I do. and to have to do that, it did dampen the experience of eating. And from what I've seen in the industry, a lot of people tend to go all in with calorie counting, and then they go on the other side and they just continue to binge and eat whatever they want. I really do believe that there is a high chance that if you are starting to count calories and you don't have guidance from a coach or an expert, that there's a higher chance that this turns into an eating disorder. Eating should not feel like this thing where every single time you put something in your mouth, you got to take out your phone, you got to find the item, plug it in. Eating can be something that is more enjoyable, more fluid, more intuitive. Reason number 5 I don't think you should count calories is because it also pushes you to ignore what your body is telling. When we become so data focused, many of us forget to focus on how we feel, right? We think more about meeting the daily caloric intake than giving our body foods that are nourishing. I remember speaking to someone who was working with a macro coach, and he had a certain number of fats, proteins, carbs, and calories that he had to meet in a day. And it was like 7 or 8 p.m. at night, and he realized that he was some carbs and calorie short. So he literally took the most processed bread and he had 2 pieces, and that was his way to meet his daily requirement. That just blows my mind, because who in their right mind thinks like, okay, I need to eat more and it's going to be the processed foods, right? Eating more high quality, nutrient dense food, if it's going to help you stay under your calorie limit but still increase them, yeah, that's awesome. But just going to something super processed because of meeting your calories is a little ridiculous, and frankly, he probably felt like garbage the next morning, and there was no connection because in his mind he did the right thing to meet his calorie goal. Your body is going to respond. Your body's going to tell you when it's tired, when you have a headache, when you have bloating, digestive issues, and these are not normal things. These are not things that just happen. There is a cause, there is a reason, and it is our job to figure it out. And when we just follow a number and that's our goal, that's our target, that's what we focus on, guess what? We're more likely to ignore the other stuff, more likely to stop trying to figure out why we feel the way we do. And strategy number 6, honestly, is it just can feel overwhelming. If you think about a lifestyle aspect of this, if you are going out to a restaurant, you're going to a party, you're in a situation where you're not totally sure of how many calories are in a food, it can be confusing, it can be stressful, it can be overwhelming. Again, the goal here is to simplify the process of fat loss. And for most people, having to take out their phone and count calories for everything that they put in their mouth is overwhelming, it's exhausting, and in my opinion, it's not necessary. So those are my 6 reasons. Now, what should you do instead? I don't want to be the guy to just trash on some strategy and not give you a better alternative. So what has worked well for my clients, as you can see here, is number 1, putting an emphasis on the quality of food. Really focusing on protein intake, but more importantly, focusing on the ingredients that you're putting in your body. We got to stop looking at food as just food. Brownie's not a brownie, it's a combination of plenty of ingredients. And so our goal is to find the highest quality, most real ingredients out there and avoid the man-made stuff that's hooking our taste buds, increasing our appetite, slowing our metabolism, and overall making it harder for us to lose weight. The second strategy that comes into play is fasting. Right? Because from a caloric intake standpoint, caloric deficit standpoint, fasting is going to naturally bring us there. That's not touching on a health benefits, and there are plenty that come from fasting. But in my opinion, if you are eating clean ingredients, you're really putting an emphasis on protein, and you are including fasting in your weekly routine, there is a very low chance that you are able to overeat. And then the third would be movement in the form of walking, low intensity, low level of resistance, going to have great benefits for your metabolism and burning calories. And then weightlifting, which is going to help you build muscle, which is going to help improve your metabolism long term. So it doesn't have to be this crazy schedule. You don't have to be taking out your phone before every meal. You can enjoy your food. You can be intuitive with it. You can feel good about it. Now, are there cases where it's actually more encouraging for people because it alleviates the stress, knowing how many calories are in a food? Of course. Everybody's going to be different here. This is my perspective on calories. This is why I don't think you should do it. I'm offering you an opportunity to try something different. If it's not for you, doesn't sound good, cool. Otherwise, if you are interested in get started with fasting, you can check the description in this video for a free fasting starters guide that's going to get you going with our process. You'll see some results, you'll start fasting, you'll decrease your hunger, you'll start burning fat, and we can get you moving in the right direction. With that being said, thank you so much for watching, and of course, as always, make sure to eat smart, move more, sleep deep, and be grateful for this moment. I'll see you in the next video.